Many of you know that I was unemployed for a large portion of 2024 and into 2025. I'm very happy to report and grateful to report that I did get a great new job, but throughout the journey, I realized something actually pretty big, and that was that I needed to rebrand. I was confronted with the fact that I had to think about who I was becoming and not who I had been. Not just professionally, but personally. I know many of you and us are in the same boat where we're rebuilding and resetting our lives. In this video, I want to talk about what it's going to take and what it is to own your own personal brand and why it may just be the most important thing that you do after 40. It's your power. It's not a bad thing. It's a good thing. So, getting started, success in anything, business, confidence, reinvention isn't about luck. It's about showing up over and over again for your own growth. People who win, they're the ones who make self-development a plan and not a wish. So your brand starts with your energy, not a logo. People don't remember what you said, they remember how you made them feel. And that is a quote from Maya Angelou. What kind of energy are you showing up with? So let me give you a real life example. As I mentioned, I just got a new job. I just came back, which is why I haven't filmed in a couple of weeks. I was on the road. I was in a sales meeting, and this was the first opportunity that I got to meet my entire team in person. I'd met everybody virtually. There was also a bunch of new hires there as well. And I did see somebody, one of my teammates, who was rather negative. And this person's behavior in a setting like this, where you're part of a new team, you're meeting everybody at a sales meeting for the first time in person, you want to be on your best behavior. I was very excited to be there. I met wonderful people. I was up, I was positive. That's who I am. However, the behavior from this coworker of mine, who it's really has nothing to do with skills. Again, it's your energy. This person was very negative. And I don't think that they particularly showed very well, if you will, in this particular instance. And however, here's what I've done with my brand and how I've decided what I want my brand to be, which is a premium brand. In years past, I probably would have turned to other coworkers and started the gossip, let the gossip swirl about, are you getting that vibe from so-and-so? And did you see this? And did you see that? But you know what? I've grown, and I'm not really interested in doing that anymore. And I think that you've got to own that energy, and I want my energy to be premium. And at the same token, let's all watch ourselves. Are we portraying a positive attitude? Are we lifting others up? Or are we belittling ourselves? That's your brand too. If you're minimizing yourself, hiding, apologizing, any of those kind of things, what's your tone of voice? So that's just something that's one way that you can own your brand, and it's in the little things. Self-development, we will win. My second point in today's video is, again, I talked about this in another video, which I can link to, but many of you know that I lost 142 pounds. I actually have probably spent in the ballpark of anywhere from $35,000 to maybe $50,000 on new clothes. But the reason being is because it's not how I look to match who I have become. And I've become a premium brand, and I'm working towards being a premium brand. And so dressing well isn't vanity. It's alignment with Monica 2025, not Monica 2015, having a heart attack. So your appearance should reflect your own self-respect and not your bank account. But even if you're going to the grocery store, how are you showing up? So that's just something. People say don't judge a book by its cover. But if the cover's falling apart, nobody's going to open that book. In fact, this is hitting pop culture, and linked to Megyn Kelly. I was watching one of Megyn Kelly's shows where she quoted Deion Sanders. And what he was saying is, hey, if you look good, you feel good. And if you feel good, you play good. And you play good, they pay good. So she's absolutely right to spotlight that. This is what it's about. And this is, again, your personal brand. So maybe you don't have $50,000 to spend. Maybe it's outrageous that I spend $50,000. That's not the point of it. The point is alignment, showing up, portraying an image. And I want to move on to the third point. Yes, you have to build a new brand. Yes, you have to work towards these things, but you also have to be authentic. So let me give you a third example. And again, I'm owning my own happiness, and that's part of my personal brand. So I recently found myself, alone all weekend with really no plans, no social plans for anything. So that's okay. I thought it would be fun to go. I was invited to go tour a new private club that's opening up here in Chicago. And it's kind of fancy and it's private and it's a social club and whatever. So I went to go take this tour, and maybe I would join the club. So I showed up in my regular Saturday gear. I was dressed cute. I had makeup on, whatever. And I show up, and there's a couple of other girls that show up, and they were dressed to the nines. Something happened during that tour of this club where I knew I was the leader. You know why? Because I was authentic. I'm not trying to show off to anybody. This is who I really am. So yes, while you're building your brand, your personal brand also needs to be real. It needs to be from the heart and authentic. And in fact, later on, I'll just link back to the sales meeting. I was sharing this story with a new coworker of mine, saying how these girls had shown up and they were all dressed up, and it was kind of, imagey, red carpet, all that kind of crap. I was sort of turned off by it, and I just was being myself. I was very clearly emerged the leader after that tour. And my coworker said to me, in fact, and I quote, he said, "You know what? Leaders are authentic." And so I thought that was really great that he said that. But anyway, your brand is built in small moments. How do you handle rejection? How do you speak about others? What kind of language do you use? All of those kind of things. So anyway, in closing, here's my call out. Do you vent or do you build? Do you gossip or do you grow? People are watching, but more importantly, you're watching yourself. I'm not saying you need to be perfect. I'm not saying that you need to be perfect. I'm saying that you need to be intentional. You don't need 1 million followers. But you do need consistency, confidence, and clarity. And here's the good news. You already have a story worth telling. You've already been through the fire. Now it's time to show up like it. So maybe it's showing up early for a workout, or in my case, working out at all. Maybe it's upgrading your LinkedIn profile. Maybe it's walking into that office like you belong there, because you do. So here's your challenge in closing this week's video, and I'm glad to be back, by the way. This week, pick one thing that aligns your outer world with your new inner world and the new premium brand that you're becoming and that I'm becoming. Maybe it's showing up early to a workout, or in my case, working out at all, because everybody knows I hate it. But I'll work on that. Or maybe it's upgrading your LinkedIn profile. Maybe it's walking into the office like you belong there, because you do. So drop a line in the comments if this resonated with you. And I know that there's at least 1,000 of you out there that want to hear this message and align with this message. So I'm trying to build that community, and I have specific goals for this channel, and I want to find others so we all can get there together. So anyway, that's it for this video. Glad to be back. Have a great week. You know what? Join the movement. I'll be here. Subscribe.